What's up, bloodsuckers? It's SilentSigns from I Dream of Indie, and today we are taking a look at BloodRayne 2 Revamped. BloodRayne 2 is a 3D action hack-and-slash style game where you are playing as Rayne, who is half vampire, half human. She's basically the best of both worlds. The sun will not kill her, and she has an insatiable thirst for human blood, so... if this all sounds suspiciously familiar, well, that's because the original BloodRayne 2 came out in 2004 on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC, and then just last year it was released on Steam as BloodRayne 2 Terminal Cut with some improvements, and now we're getting to play it on consoles with some slight tweaks from the original, but this is not a remake or a new game at all. So with that in mind, let's use our vampire senses to focus on what BloodRayne 2 Revamped is all about. You're going to be taking control of Rayne as she hunts down her siblings, and I thought my family was complicated. You're also going to have to take down a number of enemies in the process. Rayne's primary form of attack is her blades, which she constantly carries. She also has a killer kick and some guns. And I don't just mean her arms. If you happen to take damage in battle, you can regain health by sucking the blood of your enemies, which I have to say is pretty freaking cool, and also the level of petty that I strive for. If you run low on bullets, you're not going to be walking around collecting ammo as you would in a traditional game. You will actually use the blood of enemies for that as well. Rayne definitely has some really cool moves and combos that you're going to be able to pull off. By far my favorite part of this game. They are quite gory, and it does feel a little bit like you've taken Mortal Kombat and put it into an adventure game, and I'm kind of here for that. I never actually played this series at all when it was originally released, and I didn't have the opportunity to play the revamped version of the first game, so this is kind of my entry into the BloodRayne series, and I will say it wasn't hard to jump into at all. Sure, I didn't really know the background, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and let's face it, it's all about those kills anyway. In addition to your fighting moves, you also have some special modes of vision that are going to assist you. One will kind of help guide you to your next destination, and another helps slow down time. You can also click in the left stick for a reminder of the current objective. The gameplay element I enjoyed the least here has to be the platforming, if you can call it that. I guess it's referred to as the acrobatics within the game, but essentially you're kind of flipping around on poles and jumping from ledge to ledge. And boy, let me tell you, does that feel dated in 2021. They weren't claiming to have redone any of the actual gameplay mechanics here, but I kind of wish they did, at least this part. Graphically, BloodRayne 2 Revamped isn't necessarily going to blow your mind either. If you compare the way that BloodRayne 2 looked originally to this new version, yes, you're going to see some improvements, but I think if anything, it just makes you want a reimagining or a remake of this game, not just this kind of upscaled version of it. Yes, it's nice to have on these modern consoles, but just imagine what they could do now. Because there's a lot of things that BloodRayne 2 Revamped, or BloodRayne 2 in general, gets right. The fact that almost all of the objects in your environment are kind of interactive. You can tear the place apart. You can destroy bookshelves. You can smash toilets. It's a really nice touch, and I think the backgrounds in general look great. The character models are still not too shabby either, and you can certainly expect a lot of blood. They really went through the trouble to animate all sorts of different kinds of fatalities for these enemies, and that part is also fantastic. And as far as the soundtrack, you don't always get music while you're playing, but the music you do get is great. It sounds fantastic even on my Switch, but what really stood out to me here is the voice acting, especially the actress who played Rayne. Fantastic. Sound design in general is just really well done here. Not much else to say about it because if you played the original game, you clearly know what to expect. In general, I'm really glad to see these older games coming out on the newer consoles, so not only a new audience can be introduced to them, but the folks who enjoyed them previously have an opportunity to play them again with a little bit of an enhancement, as long as you're not expecting 2021 graphics in this 2004 game. And you go into this with kind of realistic expectations. There's definitely some fun to be had here. Just be aware it is an older game now, and it definitely plays like one still. It's not going to break any new ground, but it definitely doesn't suck. Well, it kind of does suck, but not in that way.
Oh, didn't they tell you? District's closed.
No windows, but that big fan is heading to an exterior wall.
Hey, what?
So will you be biting into BloodRayne 2 Revamped? Let me know in the comments down below. Before I go, I just want to thank our indie warriors Bill T, Christian Cruz, Kevilo, Mitchell Hall, Chris Jackson, Nathan Moore, Adriana Amato, CJR, C Coil, Skepticism, Haley, Julian Colbus, Jen Rose, Jesse, CPM, Bunny, JRS8, Raylan, and Marky Mint. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, don't forget you can subscribe down below so you don't miss any reviews or previews, and check out the description if you'd like to see how to become an indie warrior yourself. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.